Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is your girl, Dr. T. You know, I come on every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock to bring you some inspiration as you are moving about in your Saturday morning. How was your week? How was everything? Um, here on this side, on the East Coast, here in Philadelphia, it's looks like it's going to be an amazing day. So spring is in the air. Don't forget, tomorrow we will lose some time. So it is spring forward. And so that is where we're going to start. Spring is in the air. And you know what? It's time to really think about our lives and some of the things that we might need to ask, you know, in order to change them. Maybe they don't need to be changed. Maybe everything is fine. But there's always some tweaking that needs to happen. So this is your girl, Dr. TOD. I am optometrist by trade, but also a life and business coach. And I created Coffee with Dr. T because of my best friend. And she is in NYC. And we always chop it up on Saturday mornings because, life gets hectic. Life gets to, taking advantage of our days, with family and business and career. And so I created Coffee with Dr. T just to be able to talk with you guys. And preferably as we continue this and people keep sharing, don't forget to share and um, that it will be a conversation that you wouldn't mind putting stuff in the comment that you either it added value to you today or what you heard was good or not. Doesn't matter because I need to be worked on. I need to know when this one didn't work. Right. So today we're going to talk about some things that I think are important about some life-changing questions that kind of everyone should be asking. We should be asking this, of ourselves. And so this is that internal dialogue that we would ask ourselves when we're alone in our closet, as they would say, right? So as you begin to kind of think about 2021, and that's kind of, hinting at the 21 part, right? We from 2020 to 2021, it's been life changing for so many individuals. And so I think I've talked about, one of the things that you can do with just trying to get your mindset correct and trying to really stay positive in the midst of a pandemic because it wasn't good. And I don't want to minimize that. But now that we are kind of turning the corner, maybe you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, or maybe you're kind of stuck in that tunnel and there is no light, but want to let you know that once you keep going through that tunnel, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. And so as we continue the conversation of like spring is in the air, that is what happens. It is a change of season. And so now we, want to start asking those questions saying, hey, how do I change my life? How do I make my life better? I know for me, you have to start thinking about you first. That's the key. You can't change anybody around you or any situation around you until you change who you are. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with you. I'm just saying you might need to tweak some things. Like I went back to school, or some people I've been hearing so many people going back to school or taking certificate courses, or even learning another skill, or taking up the hobby, or turning their hobby into profit. We'll talk about that later. But these are some of the things that you may want to start engaging, into thought. Like, what are your thoughts about that? What are the things that you can do better, in your life? So I want to begin by saying, imagine finally taking off the layers. I've talked about that, quite a few times, taking off layers. So in this time, I'm saying, we're taking off the coats, right? Give me 1 second, because this print I cannot see. And I'm watching some of my other videos and my head is like up. So I need to fix that. You see there? It's not working. Anyway, we'll work on that. So I'll just have to bring this up a little bit. Okay. So the one thing you may want to do is, really, really think about imagining finally taking off coats. No pun intended. We are coming from winter and now it's spring, or soon to be. So taking off 7 coats, almost like, those layers of paint that we're constantly painting over stuff, and we're really not taking off the layers of coat. So imagine finally taking off the layers of coats that you've been wearing on top of each other for years and years. And you've forgotten that some people constantly choose to live without 7 layers of coats on, even though most people are living that way, right? Most people have layers on. They're covering up things that they don't want to be seen. We live in a society now where, beauty is in, and you're wearing makeup, and you're putting on layers and layers, and you're transforming yourself into maybe something that you never wanted to be, or something that you may have hidden, from yourself. So remember the possibilities you imagined for your life would be when you were a child. You decide to take off the coats and start running joyfully through the spring fields you forgot about. You move into the light where you finally begin to laugh and live and feeling inspired every day, instead of simply walking around reacting to life, complaining, counting the days to the next weekend or your vacation until you finally transition. So I want you to start really thinking about life. I think this pandemic really should have, if it hasn't, it should have really made us look through different lenses. And I know it has for me. And just trying to really look at your life in a different way. And maybe not necessarily in a different way, but looking at your life in the way that you envisioned it when you were younger. As we mature, as we grow, and even for our babies now, if anybody's listening, as teens and things of that nature, as parents, we want the best for our children, and we want them to be what we perceive them to be. But you know what? Sometimes we can stifle our children. And think about where you are. Did anybody stifle you from becoming who you wanted to be? And so start taking off the coats that have layered your soul since you started growing up. Forget about the negative news. Don't believe negative people telling you that you can't. That's take that can't out of the vocabulary. Make more, that you can't make more money, right? That you can't go back to school, that you can't pursue a goal because you're older, or, that, I was talking with somebody the other day. I don't know if I really want to go back to school. I was talking to her that that I'm in seminary, and she was like, Doc, I want to do that too. And I'm like, but I've been out of school for so long. And I'm like, okay. And I think we all been out of school for a while, but that's why we want to go back and look at that. So don't believe that don't believe negative people when they tell you that you can't make more money, right? Or move into a nicer place, or move to another city, maybe transforming your life by moving to another city, or do anything better for your life. So ignore all those forces telling you what you can't do. Close your ears to people who blame their bosses or the government or their friends and their circumstances on other people for what they don't like about their lives. All of us have some dislikes about our lives, but let us try to focus on the positive things that are in our lives, and that will help to transform, I believe, and transform just the way that you look at things. I know it has for me. And then it's time to leave them all behind and say, see you later, bye bye. It's time to adopt a new belief system. Maybe getting closer to God. Whatever your religion is, maybe getting closer to that. Yep, whatever you believe in that. And don't believe in the shenanigans that people may put into your spirit. You know, you know, just opinions we made up that may or not be actually true. Seek for yourself, find out for yourself, right? And take time to not limit the things that you are stuck on, but renew that, right? Rebirth it so that you can stop living paycheck to paycheck, or constantly feel like you're a hamster, in one of those wheels. So it's time to learn the magic of saying yes to yourself, right? And no to others. Say yes to yourself and no to others. You know, I'm going to make yes my new favorite word. Imagine what you want most in life right now. What is your big dream? Think of, your ideal life and, what you would like to see for yourself. See all the possibilities. Don't limit yourself. And I say, even if it's a small thing, it's still big. So don't limit yourself. You can have exactly what you want. Pray about it, sit in it, ask God, find out, where do you need to be? Money is no object. Figure out, ways of, there's grants out here for other, to revamp yourself, right? Or to pick up another tool or topic. But don't let that be this, don't let money be that thing that stops you. Your time is your own to spend as you like, for as long as you will, as long as you wish, as long as we're here on earth. So dream big now. I'm 52 years old and I'm still dreaming big, right? And what fills your soul with more joy than you've ever felt before? Remember the best experiences that have occurred in your life. And even if there weren't best or good experiences, what positive experiences do you want in your life, and make that happen for you? Start there and make it as amazing as you can make it. How are you spending your days and nights? Who are you with? What are you doing? What emotions are coming up? What smells are in the air for you? What are your favorite foods that you're eating and tasting? Guys, I can't eat and taste stuff right now. Can't wait till this season is over so that I can enjoy some eating again. But what cities or countries you are going to visit? And what are you going to wear? Right? What are you wearing? Are you going to change up your wardrobe a little bit? I know that we've all been home, probably on Zoom calls with just some tops and some pajama pants, or some might just be in pajama pants or their whole pajamas with the video off. What are you going to wear? Start that. Even as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking, start there. Stop just rolling out of the bed when you're going onto these Zoom calls, and just really push forward and say, I'm going to work, although it's in my living room. I'm going to work, although it's in my kitchen. I'm going to work, although it's in my dining room. I'm going to work, although it's in my basement or in a little corner like I'm in my living room, right? I'm going to work. Show up. How are you showing up? I talked about that before, right? How are you showing up? That makes a difference also. And so as you reach out and touch your loved ones, as we start going back into this somewhat normal time, right? Sharing this life with what sensations that run through your hands. Get as specific as possible. I know for me that's hard because you're thinking big and you're like, do I really need to be specific? Yeah, you need to be specific. Even with God, you need to be specific, right? And the more specific you are, you'll get the more specific you are, you'll get out of doing this. I had to learn that. I didn't have the courage to be specific. I'm just now really gaining that courage to really, be specific and ask for what I want and ask for help if you need the help as well. I want you to see, hear, feel, taste, and smell every little piece of the life that you were born to live. God gave us a blueprint, and sometimes we don't even understand that blueprint, right? We don't understand it. Sometimes we want to do our own thing and not really go with where God is wanting us to go. And maybe somebody even may put a negative seed in you that discouraged you. Don't be discouraged. So as you walk into your dream house, how big are the doors for you? Like if you're trying to get a new house, how high are the walls? How much square footage is covering in the windows? And, as I'm talking about this, I'm just going to tell a joke. For me, I love tiny houses. So I'm just envisioning a tiny house. I love that show. And so how have you furnished it? How many rooms does it have? Right? How many rooms does your guest have when they come? Right? How many acres is the property that's on it? What do you see outside of the windows? Is it a meadow? Is it a stream? The ocean? The sunset? Start picturing some positive thoughts in your head. And even though you want that dream house, even though you want a specific thing, just know that you should also be content with what you have. And make your inner home that you currently have, spruce it up a little bit. There are so many different things you can do to make your home look better on a dime, DIY stuff, right? So isn't this the most fantastic day of your life? Yeah, it is. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Yes. Get more in depth. See how your smile looks. Have you been frowning a lot lately? Feel the warmth in your heart and the ease and peace in your spirit. Hear the sounds of the surroundings that feed your soul, especially now that we're moving into spring. For those who have allergies, I feel you, but you may not be able to smell and things of that nature. But feel and hear the changes. See the changes. I love spring. I really love spring. Spring and fall, I love. And so feel the excitement in your bones as you realize that you are actually living in your dream come true. How amazing do you feel right now? I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. And I just want you to just breathe in and breathe out. And then I want you to just pick a place that you really want to go to and put yourself right there. You know why? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. And now I want you to open up your eyes because you deserve this life, don't you? Yeah, you do. You do. This is no accident. If you are, in this humanity that we're in, then you deserve to use and build the life that you truly want to be living in, right? And although, in this whole structure, I always say, even if you have to start at ground zero, really, what is ground zero? It's just a renewal of what you already have inside you. It's really not anything bad if you have to start all over, if you have to start a new career, if you have to start a new job, if you have to, come out of the school that you're in and go to a local school. It's okay. It really is. So feelings are so crucial. Your mindset is so crucial. Feeling is what creates what we have to do and not to do. Positive thinking without honest feeling behind it will leave you a little confused and maybe wondering why nothing has changed, right? And so when you learn to consciously create with your feelings and within your mind, you'll start feeling better. Remember, I talked about that health. You'll start feeling better, maybe even start eating better. That's another thing that you can start doing, right? And change, getting different results in your life, the positive results. Right now, you're probably getting results based on your unconscious feelings. I know for me, like that gut, like somebody planted a negative seed and you're trying to push that and you don't want that to grow. You want those unconscious feeling like, am I worth it? Who am I to come out and speak with you today? How are you in reaching out? You know, or that fear that I can't. Remember, I just talked about that. I can't. Those feelings that are evoked in you. And so the scary part of it all, right, is that this is the way that most people feel. You're not alone. You're not alone in this. And so most people only feel in reaction to what happens to them, especially when we were growing up. So today I want to teach you how to create your feelings a little bit differently, right? And this feeling, is actually a feeling even lighter and clearer, on how to do this. So look out more. We're going to really think about, remember I said I feel as though that there's a challenge in the midst. I think come April 1st, we are going to, and I may even start it next week, as my coach would say, don't wait, don't belabor it. We are going to have the happy challenge, the happiness challenge. We're going to create that one. We want to stop being angry. We want to change our environment. We want to have positive things and then post. So look out. I may create a Facebook page on that and just say, hey, how are you being happy today? Share it, put some gifts up. That's why I've been playing around with you guys with some gifts and just trying to create some gifts. So I want you to starting to think being positive, because you know why? Because you deserve it. And I need you to go for it. So that's my spiel today. I wanted to come on and just talk to you guys about really, really being happy and what that is. We all deserve some semblance of happiness. And you're going to get down, and I'm not negating that, but we want to exude more. We want, that 99.9% happiness and that 1%, feeling. And I think once we get into that mindset, I think once we start creating that community of just wanting to be better, I think we will all be better. That's that unity I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, if you want to go back to that video. So don't forget to share what we have. Look out for more stuff, that we have. Go to logicecareinc.org. I'll probably start posting in there as well, maybe the happiness challenge, and figure out a creative way to make sure that we have a simple spot, right, to really have a creative, and then invite people in to kind of be happy. And not to say that, my daughter says, Mama, you're always happy. I'm not always happy. But somebody encouraged me recently and said, Doc, you always have a positive spirit. And that's just how I am. I always try to take negative stuff and try to bring it into the positive mindset. Negative stuff is going to happen. We know this, but don't let it consume you. So this is your girl, Dr. T. I asked all those 21 questions. You probably did not realize it. If you go back, I'll probably post a blog. I'll put that in the blog for today. And later on today, I'm on my way to work. But I wanted to say, you know what? It's a good day. This is a day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. And I will see you guys next Saturday, prayerfully. And let's do this. Let's try to stay happy. All right. Be blessed.